Have you ever walked out into your garden full of hope, only to see your tomato plants looking a little sad? You give them water, you give them sunshine, but something still seems off. It's a feeling I know well. Often the secret isn't in what we add, but in the space we give. Just like a house needs good flow for a family to thrive, a garden needs good spacing for plants to flourish. Giving each tomato plant its own little piece of real estate is one of the most loving things you can do for it. It's the first step to growing those juicy, homegrown tomatoes we all dream about all winter long. When we first start a garden, it's so tempting to plant everything close together. The little seedlings look so small in that big empty bed, and we want to fill every inch with life. But those tiny plants have big dreams. They want to grow tall and wide, reaching for the sun. When they are crowded, they have to compete for everything: sunlight, water, and even the food in the soil. This competition creates stress, and a stressed plant is never a happy or productive plant. It's like trying to cook a big family meal in a tiny kitchen. Things just get messy and no one gets what they need. Think of it this way: proper spacing is like setting the foundation for a strong and beautiful home. It allows each plant to establish itself without fighting its neighbors. This isn't just about being neat and tidy. It's about creating an environment where every single plant has the chance to reach its full potential. When you give them that space, you're telling them, "I believe in you. I know you can grow into something amazing." That little bit of breathing room you provide at the beginning of the season will pay you back tenfold when it's time to harvest. So, let's talk about that secret. But first, make sure to click that subscribe button in the bottom right corner to stay in touch with all of our great garden tips and tricks. The secret to a truly abundant tomato harvest isn't some complicated trick or expensive product. It's simply space. It's about understanding that each plant is an individual that needs its own personal bubble to grow strong and healthy. By giving them this gift, you are preventing problems before they even start. You're setting the stage for fewer diseases, stronger stems, and best of all, more of those delicious sun-ripened tomatoes that make all the hard work in the garden feel so worthwhile. It's a simple change that makes a world of difference. Deep beneath the soil, there's a whole world we don't see. This is where a tomato plant's roots are hard at work, searching for water and nutrients to fuel its growth. When plants are too close, their root systems get all tangled up. They have to fight each other for every drop of water and every bit of food. This underground battle means no single plant can develop a strong, deep root system. A plant with weak roots is like a house with a shaky foundation. It can't stand strong against challenges like a hot, dry day or a sudden summer storm. Above ground, the story is much the same. Tomato plants need sunshine to make their food through a process called photosynthesis. Their leaves are like little solar panels, soaking up the light. When plants are crowded, their leaves overlap and create a dense canopy of shade. The lower leaves get blocked from the sun so they can't do their job. This means the plant can't produce as much energy, which leads to fewer flowers and ultimately fewer tomatoes. Giving them space ensures every leaf gets a chance to bask in the sun and work its magic. Another big reason for good spacing is air. Plants need to breathe too. When leaves are packed tightly together, air can't move freely between them. This creates a humid, damp environment, which is the perfect breeding ground for fungal diseases like blight and powdery mildew. Have you ever seen those sad, yellowing leaves with dark spots? Crowding is often the culprit. Proper spacing allows a gentle breeze to flow through, drying the leaves after a rain or morning dew, and keeping those nasty diseases from taking hold. A well-ventilated plant is a healthy plant, so when you give your tomatoes plenty of room, you're creating a perfect little ecosystem for each one. They can grow deep, strong roots to find all the nourishment they need. Their leaves can stretch out and catch every ray of sunlight, creating plenty of energy. And the fresh air can circulate all around them, keeping them dry and disease-free. It's a simple formula. Strong roots plus sunny leaves equals a happy, healthy plant that is ready and willing to produce a beautiful harvest for you and your family to enjoy all summer long. Not all tomatoes are created equal, and their spacing needs are different too. Let's start with the big ones: indeterminate tomatoes. These are the vining types like Brandywine or Sun Gold that just keep growing and producing all season long until the first frost. They can get really big, sometimes reaching 6 to 10 feet tall. Because they have such a sprawling nature, they need the most space. I like to give these beauties at least 3 to 4 feet between plants. This gives them plenty of room to branch out and ensures they get all the sun and air they need to keep making tomatoes for months. Then we have the determinate tomatoes. These are the bushier types, like Roma or Celebrity, that grow to a certain, more compact size. They produce most of their fruit all at once over a few weeks, which is great if you love canning or making sauce. Since they don't get as wild and unruly as their indeterminate cousins, you can plant them a little closer together. A good rule of thumb for these is about 2 to 3 feet between each plant. This gives them enough space to fill out without getting overcrowded, leading to a big, beautiful harvest when the time comes. What if you don't have a big garden bed? Don't worry, you can still grow amazing tomatoes in containers. Growing in pots is a wonderful way to have fresh tomatoes right on your patio or balcony. For this, you'll want to choose smaller, determinate varieties, sometimes called patio or dwarf tomatoes. A single plant in a large pot is usually best. I recommend a container that's at least 5 gallons, but a 10-gallon pot is even better. This gives the roots enough room to grow without becoming root-bound, which can stunt the plant's growth and limit your harvest. No matter which type you choose, remember that these spacing guidelines are a starting point. Think about how you plan to support your plants. If you're using big, sturdy cages, you'll need to make sure you leave enough room for them. If you plan to trellis your plants and prune them heavily, you might be able to get away with planting them a little closer. The key is to imagine the plant at its full, mature size when you are planting those tiny seedlings. A little planning now will save you a lot of headaches later in the season. As your tomato plants grow, you'll want to give them some support to lean on. Staking, caging, and trellising are all wonderful ways to help your plants grow strong and keep the fruit off the ground. For indeterminate varieties, a tall, sturdy stake or a robust cage is a must. Driving the stake into the ground when you first plant your seedling will avoid damaging the roots later. As the plant grows, you can loosely tie the main stem to the stake. Cages are even easier. Just place the cage over the young plant and let it grow up through the supports. These methods help lift the plant toward the sun and improve that all-important air circulation. Pruning can feel a little scary at first, but it's one of the best ways to manage your plant's growth and direct its energy. It's especially helpful for indeterminate tomatoes that you are trellising. Look for the little suckers that form in the joint where a side branch meets the main stem. Pinching off these lower suckers encourages the plant to put its energy into growing upward and producing fruit, rather than growing into a tangled mess of leaves. I usually remove the suckers from the bottom foot of the plant to improve airflow near the soil and keep soil-borne diseases from splashing up onto the leaves. Even with the best planning, sometimes our gardens can get a little overgrown as the season goes on. Don't be afraid to do a little mid-season adjusting. If you notice 2 plants are starting to crowd each other, you can carefully prune some of the overlapping branches to open things up. This late-season pruning helps sunlight reach the ripening fruit, which can actually improve its flavor. Think of it as giving your garden a little haircut to keep it looking and feeling its best. It's all about maintaining that balance of light and air that we worked so hard to create in the spring. In the end, all these little steps, proper spacing, supportive staking, and thoughtful pruning, work together to create a garden that doesn't just survive, but truly thrives. When you give your tomato plants the room they need to breathe and the structure they need to grow, they will reward you with an abundance of healthy, delicious fruit. There is nothing more satisfying than walking out to your garden and filling a basket with beautiful tomatoes you grew yourself. It's a testament to the care and love you've poured into the soil. So go on, give your plants some space and watch them grow. Hit that subscribe button for more simple tips to make your garden a place of joy and abundance, and talk soon.